Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I want to go ahead and welcome everybody to this year's membership annual meeting. First, I'd like to advise the membership of appointments. For our recorder, we have Linda Martin. For our parliamentarian, we have Bruce Bright. For our timekeeper, we have John Latham. Sergeant at Arms, Chief Tim Robinson. In teller, we have Steve Ransell. First up, we have Miss Debbie Donahue, who has the presentation of the Sam Wilkinson Volunteer Award.
Good morning. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Well, thank you guys for coming out this morning. We finally are done with the rain. Yay! So today, as you know, the Volunteer of the Year Award is given out in the name of a young gentleman, excuse me, that unfortunate accident took his life when he was a young boy. He and his dad were a part of this recreation and parks program, and his dad volunteered for a lot of the programs and sports that we did here. So every year we give away a Volunteer of the Year award, and this year I'm gonna read a whole lot of information about this person. And not only do they do a lot in Ocean Pines, but you're gonna be surprised excuse me, as to what she does in the community. So let's get started. So as far as her family background is concerned, she was born in New Jersey. They were married in 1962 and they moved to Maryland. They have 3 children, 8 grandchildren, and 12 great-grandchildren. And I think now they might have a couple new ones. But Barb always lived in our family, loved to live with our family. She learned from her mother at an early age excuse me, to care for others before herself. The very young and older folks have always been, I might be able to see, always been a special place in Barb's heart. While raising 3 children and volunteering at their sports activities, she also worked as a pediatrician's office caring for little ones. She later became an office manager at a general practitioner and finally an office manager at cardiology office caring for the geriatrics. Her volunteer work after retiring in Ocean Pines in 2003, she quickly found ways to help the community through volunteer work. As a Kiwanis member, she led numerous Kiwanis fundraisers. She worked Kiwanis pancake breakfast, German dinners, fruit sales, car raffle ticket sales. At the Sunfest beer sales, the Kiwanis station, we sang and danced and were considered the most fun-loving vendors by the customers. For years, she ran the Kiwanis dog team sales and became known for her home-baked mini pies. If you never had one of those, you are missing out. At the hot dog stand for our concerts in the park. Let's see, she hosted Kiwanis cleanup days at Horses for the Handicapped. She organized Kiwanis Christmas parties, installation dinners, pancake breakfast. Of course, trimming the Christmas tree was always a blast. Finally, she served 2 terms as president of the Ocean City Ocean Pines Kiwanis Club. For 20 years, she supported Worcester County Gold, donating gifts for 2 families at Christmas and school supplies in fall and turkeys at Thanksgiving. While still a Kiwanian, she was also the event organizer for many of Anna Fultz Star Charities fundraisers and provided care packages to active duty military members. She also participated in the AARP food drive. In early years, she was inducted into Diakonia when we and the Kiwanis painted the Diakonia storage warehouse. In recent years, she ran the Diakonia Homeless Pantry, sorting food during the many Diakonia food drives and distributing bags of food to as many as 20 families daily. She participated in several cricket walks for abused children on the OC Boardwalk. She currently works with Carol Dreska for the Twilight Wish Foundation to fulfill wishes of needy elderly. For years, she cooked at the Recreation and Parks Department for Breakfast with Santa and helped with Reindeer Lane Child's Gift Shop. She has cooked and served many pancakes and eggs for the Easter Bunny breakfast as well. She works the information table at both the fall celebration and Easter celebration. She set up and served food at the Ocean Pines concert series for many years through the Kiwanis. And again, the concert patrons loved those little pies. Her latest volunteer opportunity came when she came to my office asking for some volunteer work. She didn't want to get bored. Does it sound like she had time to get bored? She also looked around my office and said, I think I can help you, because my office is a mess, bless her heart. She scheduled time throughout a few weeks to come in and help me box up old paperwork, label boxes, make room for new stuff. While she was there, she would be found wandering into the kitchen, tidying things up a little bit. She can always call, but you can always call, and very rarely will she tell you no. She is always available for us, no matter what it is. And today, she actually thought she was coming to help with a craft class. So I'm sorry, Barb. Barb's husband stated Barbara is an organizer who enjoys helping people. To say she cannot stay idle would be a huge understatement. These are a few of the many reasons why he loves her so. This year's Volunteer of the Year is an amazing woman that can always count on being a big part of all that we do here at the Recreation Department. And I said I wasn't going to do that. We appreciate her more than she will know. Please welcome our new Volunteer of the Year, Ms. Barb Pelletier. I was sneaky, she said. We were quite sneaky, Barb. We were quite sneaky.
Looking for the craft class. Thank you all. I appreciate it.
You do a lot of things for us, and especially for me, and I appreciate you so much.
I trust you.
See what happens. All right. Well, thank you guys very much.
Right.
Have a great day.
Next up, we have the ascertainment of quorum. Secretary Latham, do we have a quorum?
President Parr, we do not.
We do not have a quorum. According to our bylaws, at this time, we cannot validate our election. We will be holding a special meeting this coming up week to validate our election, and there will be no business moving forward today. However, what I would like to do as far as informing the membership of this year of some of our reports. And what I'd like to have first is our legal report with our, with Bruce Bright, who is our attorney.
Ready to hear me? So for those who don't know me, again, I'm Bruce Bright. I am a partner in the firm of Ayers, Jenkins, Gordy and Allman. A little bit about my firm. The firm was started in June 1973, just about 51 years ago. We are presently 8 partners, 2 of counsel, which is a sort of a senior status after partner, but before retirement, and 3 associates. We have 11 full-time support staff, and then we have some other part-time support staff as well. We have a broad practice with many different practice areas being covered by our firm. We've represented the town of Ocean City since 1983. We represent the town of Snow Hill. We represent the Worcester County Board of Education and have represented the Board of Ed for many, many years. And of course, we represent many community associations, HOAs, and condominium associations other than the biggest one, the second biggest one in the state of Maryland, which is OPA. We are also happy to represent and do represent many businesses, both large, medium, and small, both locally and beyond the Eastern Shore area. So, but we're very proud and pleased to have been given the opportunity to represent Ocean Pines, which is such an important locality. It's not, as everybody is aware, it's not a municipality, but it functions sort of like a municipality. And we're very happy to represent such an important institution here on the Lower Shore. We were appointed to be general counsel for OPA a little over a year ago in May of 2023. I have principally been general counsel for OPA in that time, but also my partner Maureen Howarth works on OPA matters. Maureen is a former acting Wycomico County attorney and a former Worcester County attorney before joining our firm as a partner in 2020. We also have associates that staff the Ocean Pines work. And then occasionally one of the other partners, depending on practice area and area of specialization, will jump in on specific matters. The services that we provide to Ocean Pines are really the broad array of all of the Ocean Pines legal needs. We are general counsel providing general advice to both the board, the general manager, and the various departments of OPA. We are engaged in contract negotiations on behalf of OPA, and in terms of drafting more complex contracts, we are engaged in litigation on behalf of OPA. We handle collections of unpaid assessments that used to be handled by a second firm. We handle CPI enforcement, and that's another area that used to be handled by a second firm. We handle employment issues, compliance and regulatory issues, and really all other legal matters and needs that arise for OPA. We're trying to be a one-stop shop for all of the legal needs of Ocean Pines, rather than Ocean Pines having to use more than one firm as it has in the past. Some of the things that we've been pleased to assist on over the course of the past year: revising the CPI enforcement process. That was a rather lengthy and involved process of revising resolutions MO6, board resolutions MO6 and MO1, and improving the process, making it clearer, making it more linear and easier to understand in terms of how it's stated and explained in the resolutions, and also making the process fully compliant with changes at the state law level over the course of the past couple of years. We have been involved in, of course, become involved in collection of unpaid assessments, and in that process have revised and made changes to board resolution FO4. The collections are getting to our office a bit earlier than in the past. We are actually handling the step where the notice of intent to claim a lien goes out to the owner who hasn't paid the assessment. That used to be a step that was handled by the administration at OPA. So we are hopefully now at this point taking some of that administrative burden off the shoulders of the already stressed OPA staff. Between August 1st of 2023 and July 15th of 2024, that's the last time I checked, we collected $144,899.64 of unpaid assessments. And by the way, this service that we provide is at no cost to the OPA, because when we collect the unpaid assessment, we also collect the attorney fee that goes along with that from the lot owner. We were involved, of course, as many of you know, in the preparation and negotiation of the MOU between the OPA and the Ocean Pines Volunteer Fire Department, which was, of course, a very important step toward the future for OPA. We were involved in the extension of Mr. Viola's contract, which, of course, was quite important. We assisted with revision of ARC guidelines, worked to revise some of the other board resolutions, including MO6. I think I mentioned MO6 before. I meant to mention MO4. That's the other CPI-related resolution. MO6 is the election-related board resolution. We work to assist the board in revising that board resolution. We've worked on a variety of other contracts that OPA has entered into. Happy to report that in the year that we've been general counsel, there has been no litigation against the OPA. So, knock wood, that's good news. And Also happy to report that we've been able to reduce overall legal fees for the OPA for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024 as compared to prior years, including the most recent prior years. So in closing, it's been, we think, a good and productive year. We as a firm and me personally, we really enjoy doing this work for OPA. It's interesting work. It can be demanding work, but it's rewarding. And we enjoy working with the board, the general manager, all of the really great staff that you have here at OPA. And we are and continue to be quite honored to fulfill this role for OPA. Thank you very much.
Next up, we have Chris Hollis can do our audit report.
Good morning, everybody. Yep, I'm here. Good morning. Can you hear me okay? Perfect. Good morning. My name's Chris Hall. I'll give you a little bit of a history here for those who don't know me. I'm a partner in the accounting firm UHY. UHY, for those that don't remember, we used to be TGM Group. Been around since 1993, based out of Salisbury, Maryland. We're still located in Salisbury, Maryland. I'm still a partner located in that office, and that's where we perform your audit from. We merged our firm in with UHY 3 or 4 years ago. UHY is a top 30 accounting firm in the country, which allows us to, kind of like what Bruce was just talking about, be a one-stop shop. There's no services that we can't provide for clients. It allows us to have extra expertise, more knowledge, more back office support. So there's no situation that can arise that we can't handle for any client. We audit hundreds of homeowners associations throughout the state and the country. We do a lot of large cities, towns, counties. Like Bruce also mentioned, you're not a municipality, but you do function similar to some. So we have that expertise as well, in addition to all the homeowners associations that we audit. So exactly what is an audit? So we're engaged to render an opinion on your financial statements. Your financial statements are about 38 pages long, and they consist of several components: an independent auditor's report, the basic financial statements, which would be your balance sheet, your income statement, your cash flow, and your notes to the financial statements. You have supplementary information, and you have required supplementary information, which is required for homeowners associations. So a little bit about the audit report. Exactly what do we do as part of an audit? And the audit report is 3 pages. It's the first 3 pages of the report. It's the only thing that's on UHY letterhead, because that's what we're engaged to do, is to issue this report on your financial statements. And probably the first 2 paragraphs are I'll call the meats and potatoes of it. That's what you need to read. So it's what we've audited. We audited your statements as of April 30, 2024 and 2023. And in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respects. In layman's terms, that's a clean, unmodified opinion. That's the highest level of assurance that any accounting firm can give on a set of financial statements. The next part of the audit report just talks about the basis for opinion. That's the accounting standards that we have to follow in order to perform our audit in accordance with all the regulations and rules. Then it also talks about the responsibilities of management. These are management's financial statements. It's not UHY's financial statements. It's Ocean Pine's financial statements, and our role and duty is to actually come in and audit those and give an opinion, as I just mentioned. And then the next page is all about our audit responsibilities. What do we need to do? We got to exercise professional judgment. We got to identify the risk of material misstatement. We have to obtain an understanding of your internal control in order to design our audit procedures. We got to evaluate the appropriateness of the accounting policies that are used, make sure they're reasonable. So how do we do some of those procedures? Well, the timeline is kind of what you see on the screen here. It's a several month process. Late April, we come in and do what we like to call some preliminary procedures. We come in and do planning. We talk to folks. We update the internal control documentation if people have left, if processes have changed, and we actually have to do what we call walkthroughs and risk assessments of those, trace transactions through the system to make sure what the policies and procedures say are really happening. And we do that by doing what we call walkthroughs, tracing transactions through the system. On April 30th, we come out and we do some test counts at various locations of your inventory to make sure what the books and records say is on hand is actually on hand. So we send folks out and actually do test counts of those inventory items. We also send confirmations out to local financial institutions for your cash and investments accounts to make sure those actually exist. And then usually sometime after Memorial Day, so end of May, early June, we come out and do what we like to call year-end field work. So we have your April 30 statements, and we actually audit your balance sheet and income statement. So we look at source documents, we test transactions, we look at reconciliations, et cetera, et cetera. Excuse me. So after all those procedures are formed, we then prepare the financial statements, put together this 38-page document that is available online. Management reviews that. We go back and forth to get to the report that you see, to ultimately today's annual meeting and the presentation to all of you. I'm not going to go into all the numbers. I know your leadership team and management team is going to do a pretty thorough discussion of all the numbers and the actual financial results for the year. I would just like to say the organization, as evident by the clean opinion, is you have a very healthy balance sheet, and you're in sound fiscal shape. And I'll let your management team discuss all the actual numbers and results. I appreciate your time today, and thank you very much.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Next up, the president's report. And first, I want to thank for this year, once again, all of our committee members who have done an outstanding job recommending ideas for our membership and working through their liaison on issues that they feel that needs to be brought to the attention of the board and also the operations team. I really do appreciate the time and effort for your volunteerism on that. It's very important with the association for doing that type of work. So once again, thank you for that. One of the things I would like to talk about is some significant accomplishments this past year that this board has done for our membership. One of the things is, as you can see, if we go to the next slide, is we have lowered our annual assessments while refreshing and upgrading all of our amenities this year. I'll say that's a collective effort with the board as well as the GM and his staff to making sure that we're making the right decisions at the best interest of all membership. The new golf course irrigation, new pump station was approved. We are a destination golf course, and it continues to be improved, and we're going to continue that avenue to make sure that it is definitely and remains a destination golf course. The Tiki Bar expansion has increased customer experience and has generated record sales since it had opened up. We've had a new memorandum of understanding between OPA and the volunteer fire department, and that is historic. And we worked well, the board worked well with the leadership, the volunteer fire department to make this MOU come to realization and for the next step in being able to furnish a new firehouse that's going to protect the community. So thank you for that. We approved the funding for the renovation of the Racket Sports Center building. We renovated the clay courts at the Racket Sports Center. We've hiring of new directors of aquatics and racket sports. And of course, a new contract with our general manager, John Viola, well-deserved. We've purchased 2 police cars for the chief to make sure he has the necessary tools and vehicles to be successful in protecting our community. We did a refresh of the Beach Club interior. We did the painting, we did landscaping, and we've added more palm trees. We've also added what I believe has been very receptive in our electric sign here at the north gate for everybody to see what is going on within Ocean Pines. We've also constructed the kayak dock over at Pin Tail Park. We've had the handicap accessibility for the children at our parks, which is a huge success. And for our dog lovers, we went ahead and renovated the dog park, and thanks to Public Works, the general manager and his team, for ensuring that that has happened. We've also increased the beautification throughout Ocean Pines, including the iconic Northgate Bridge. And what do y'all think about the new sunflower garden out there? John Lyle right here. He was a big culturist, but he did a great job with that. And thanks to our council as well for aggressive in collections of our past assessments. As mentioned, it was what, over 140,000 on that? And that comes back into the pockets of OPA and not a penny spent as far as getting that cost back to us. We replaced the aquamats at the pool for safety. We also continue with the annual road resurfacing and continuing funding for the replacement of the new water pipe lining throughout the community. And we replacement of the buoys throughout the waterway. In fact, to our director, Jeff Hebner, for moving forward and bringing that to our attention. We approved C0 Advisory Committee policy, C03, the Budget and Finance Advisory Committee, M06, election and referendum procedures, and then the new communication outlet where we've all started. And I hope you guys are listening to it because the Pines Cast is the official podcast of Ocean Pines. So please have an opportunity to take a listen to that, and it highlights a lot of the folks who make great contributions to OPA. I also want to make special thanks to the service of previous board presidents and current parliamentarian Doug Parks for putting us in a great position before taking over. I'd like to also recognize Assistant Secretary Linda Martin for her continued support to the board. It's been outstanding. So thank you for that, Lynn. All current board members for their outstanding service to Ocean Pines community. And I'm going to kind of go off script just a minute. I would like our current board members to please stand up and come forward here for our membership to see who you are. So we have Director Brady, Director Murkowski. We have we over here have Director Latham, myself, Director Hebner, and Dr. Lackernick. This is your board that has done this outstanding work. And we support. Nice for that. Well, and one other thing, I want to also thank the volunteers that serve our advisory committee, as I mentioned, and of course, John, your administrative staff, for all the support they have done for Ocean Pines. And John, I think you wanted to mention one thing. Yeah, you see, yeah, for a bunch of money. Sorry, we're impromptu here. So.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to take a couple minutes to, as you know, we just finished up the election for this year just a couple days ago. I wanted to make sure that we congratulate Chairman Steve Ransdell, Cheryl Jacobs, Fred Robinson, Pat Leonard, and Ken Petrini. I would also like to, I would be remiss if I didn't thank the outgoing committee for all their hard work in setting up the process that for the new committee that took over a couple of months ago. They handed it off a playbook that truly contributed to our success. That team was Chairman Tom Piatti, George Austin, Tom Schwartz, and Nancy Osborne. In addition, I'd like to thank, or we would like to thank the support team. The election process was truly a village. It took a village to make this happen, believe me. And I just want to take a second. John Viola, Linda Martin, Josh Davis, Nancy McCuban, Pete Calabrese, Howard Webb, Michelle Ross, Ruth Ann Meyer, and I hope I have, and I'm sure I probably forgot someone, but I just want everyone to know that this thing just doesn't happen in the back room. There's a lot of moving parts, And we feel it's a very successful election. And, you know, we'll meet, or the committee will meet in a couple weeks. They'll do a postmortem, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, and make recommendations in the next couple weeks. And obviously the goal each year is to try to make it a little bit better. So I want to thank everyone.
John, you're on deck here for the general manager's report and the financial report.
Thank you, Rick. Okay, so, we just heard from Bruce, Chris, and many others. I just want to also state the strong relationship, the constructive professional support the GM office has received, the independence and support from the firms, Bruce's firm, as well as Chris's. So compliments to them. It certainly has made my job easier. And again, thank you. Okay, so today I just want to start off. If you can just go back to the first slide, please. Okay, so I always like to start off with some pictures. Obviously, Rick just talked about them, the beautification efforts, the sunflowers. We just heard about that, but we will be looking at that even in the future and enhancing that. Page. So I've been talking to this association probably since 2017 up here. Back in 2017, 2016, I spoke about the worst of times, but hey, probably the best of times to come. The last several years, specifically last year, I spoke about we have something special here, and I still believe that's true. Today, I want to start off with the theme that we are on track, and we need to stay that course. Page. So actually, stay on that page, please. What we're going to talk about today is the maintenance, the beautification, the replacement, the culmination of everything what you heard Rick, our president, talk about. Linda Martin will take you through it with slides, pictures, bullet points, basically a culmination of all our board meetings, everything that's been achieved by our team. The support, the infrastructure basically has become a turnkey operation, all of them. Again, from our support teams, whether it's public works, accounting, public relations, IT. Compliments to everybody. With that, I would like to turn over to Linda. She will take you through all the different amenities, initiatives, and support. Linda.
Okay, this year we had the aquatics. We have a new aquatics director, Michelle Hitchens. The main thing was the replacement of the splash pad. Was approved by the board on April 20th, 2024, cost $36,000. Maintenance, beach club. This is ongoing maintenance. So it's repair, replacing the decking where needed, and extra palm trees were added, actually throughout Ocean Pines. So I'm not sure if everyone's aware, but extra palm trees were added, but specifically at the beach club. Golf. We're starting phase 1 of the irrigation project for golf. Total cost $934,000 for the first phase. And we're doing the Vericut and maintenance. That's ongoing as well. And I don't know if anyone's noticed, but renovation at the range building, which was approved for $15,000. Marina, second year in a row, voted one of the Maryland's cleanest marinas for the second year. Maintenance, we repaired the docks and decks on both yacht club and swim bracket and addressed conditions of the bathroom at the marina. Bracket sports, new director Terry Underkoffler. We're doing maintenance, $25,000 spent on maintenance at the Purse Shop building. That includes painting, ice machine, office furniture. We are expecting to do the renovations starting this winter of $140,000 that was approved by the board. Safety, we did address the safety of the mold review and the line striping of the speed bumps added as well. Recreation and parks, ongoing trails maintenance, dog park maintenance. We had 2 new equipment added to the dog park. We installed the recreation pier and ADA kayak launch at the Pintail Park, and which included the kayak racks. Public Works did install the containers for the fishing lines for disposal. That's the bottom picture there. But it's been an ongoing effort with the kayaks as well. So that's a good step up. Veterans Memorial, we're on staff to do the pavilion. This should be started and finished by Veterans Day. Total cost $150,000, and we did add a generator and extra lighting for safety. Yacht Club maintenance. We're doing maintenance in the Yacht Club, painted throughout the building, replace tiles on the ceiling and floors. And of course, we have the Tiki Bar extension for an enhanced customer experience. So that has been a good improvement to the Yacht Club. Police Department. We're rebuilding our police force. Thanks in half for chief. One officer graduated in the police academy in December, 2 officers sworn in April, May, and 2 cadets currently in the academy. So we are rebuilding the police force for safety. Support, marketing, and public relations. Pines Cast, if you haven't listened to it, it's a good step up. We have several already scheduled, and good job for Josh Davis and his team. Okay, we introduced the first electronic sign. Communications Committee was beneficial in that. Increased the Facebook reach out by 189%. Set new single year record of newsletters for 69,016. Cut the promotion expenses by 32%. Created the first digital ads on the Ocean Pines Forum. And PR marketing staff also produces 6 print publications annually, plus weekly e-blasts, daily press releases, flyers, ads, and social media content. So they're quite a department of 2 that does all that work. So bulkheads and waterways. Replace 2,300 linear feet on Water Green Lane, Golden Eye Court, and Wood Duck Drive. Emergency bulkhead was also replaced the bubblers, and the buoys were replaced throughout on the waterways. Drainage, ongoing and ditch maintenance. That's the top picture there. It's in-house and also outside contractors. Pipelining, pipeline just finished. If you can see the before and after picture, that's quite an improvement. It does, it's a good process because it does save the pipe. Roads, road paving completed, 3 miles of roads. It was Battersea Canal, Deerfield, Driftwood, Moonraker, St. Martin's, Water's Edge, and Wharf Court. And then new crosswalks were painted on the roads, and we replaced the washout at the bridge. So that's all for safety. Beautification. We have those flowers that were added to the north gate. Flowers at the and the plants at the south gate as well around the pond. We increased the decorations for the holidays, the new fountain at the north gate, and the new banners that were designed by the public relations and marketing department as well. Signs, replaced the deteriorated signs throughout Ocean Pines. Yacht Club was repainted. We did power washing in-house, and then the outside contractor did replace the rotted wood. But we also added the new Racket Center Recreation Complex sign, and there's that digital sign again. More to come. Mailboxes, ongoing mailbox replacement, still in phase 1. We ordered additional mailboxes. Public Works is trying to do as much as possible in-house, but we did have a few more mailboxes ordered, and we are still in phase 1 with the cleaning and the replacement. Committees. Committees, we get several requests through committees. Chairperson notifies the liaison then notifies the general manager, or sorry, the president, then the general manager. We do get a few, just to highlight a few. Aquatics, they had the implementation of the weekly pool rate, which we did. Communications, suggestion of electronic sign, first one was installed. Environmental and Natural Assets Committee, they do several, trails maintenance, which we did do. The planting of the trees, we're planning to do that. General manager has already notified that we are planning to do that in the fall. Fishing line tubes, as we showed in the previous slide, that is going to be, that was one of their requests. Egg addling is still scheduled for this upcoming spring. Turtle habitat, we are planning to do that at the soft shoreline. And the duck and geese crossings, we did have a little address of the issue with that, but we are putting that on the digital sign, and that's the top picture there. So we are working on that. Marine activities, they just recently ordered water sample kits, so they'll be doing that as volunteers. And Recreation Park has a lot of safety issues and park signage, which was added along with tree trimming. Metrics, CPI violations, a total of 1,300 violations initiated this last year, 900 more than last year. So kudos to the CPI team, because I mean, that's pretty impressive for 900, but we are doing 40% more in maintenance as well. So we are wrapping up on violations and we are addressing them as they come in. Work orders, a total of 1,424 work orders. If you email Info Ocean Pines, you can get the work order put in, and a total of 188 still remaining as at the end of April. Metrics, customer service, 1,649 emails, phone calls. A lot of them, a lot to do with general, a lot to do with amenity questions, but if any information you need, email info@oceanpines.org.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, so I just want to talk about now, and I've done this each year, the team, we've put this together. Where were we? Where were we? And I used the base year somewhere around 2016, 2017. I've spoken to you about this before, but we'll go through it quick. So where were we? Where are we today? Where are we going? We had an operating deficit back then of $1.6 million. The bulkheads, drainage, and roads were not on track. There was no mailbox initiative. Golf, aquatics, food and beverage, racket sports, all operating with losses. The membership revenue back then was approximately $1.2 million. Where are we today? We have an operating favorability. I don't want to use the word surplus, but favorable. The drainage spend has increased. The major pipelines, Linda talked to you about that. We've been talking about it for several years. We've invested almost $1 million over 4.5 years in the major pipes. We have seen the best results from that. That has cleared everything up so that all the other pipes and everything there is a plan that was put here from the beginning. So that was a big one. The bulkheads and the roads, part of a strategic plan, costs have been controlled. Membership revenue forecast, I talked about 1.2 back several years ago. Right now it's trending forecasted at $1.3 million. That's a 13% increase in our memberships, in our membership dollars. To me, that's a key KPI. It shows us that our amenities, you saw all the work we've been doing, people want it. I was glad to hear what Rick said about the golf course, a destination golf course. I like it. What is next? Well, the Veterans Memorial Pavilion, that's been approved. We're working on it. I can tell you I had a meeting with Marie the other day. There's some minor changes to the sketches, to the designs. We have an architect, we have a builder. We're on track for November. I know Marie's excited, so am I. The racket sports building renovation, well, we'll see that hopefully somewhere around November. The dog park range structure also included with that. The firehouse construction, I did meet with the volunteer fire department, Joe, just the other day. In fact, I think it was yesterday. We've had many meetings. I believe we're on track. I'm seeing a lot of positive work. It's been a very constructive time. Joe, if you want to just say anything or you. I told you I'd get you up.
Okay, so yes, we are, we've been having a lot of meetings internally with the Ocean Pines Volunteer Fire Department leadership and the general membership, as well as with OTA. We are making a lot of great progress. We're going through kind of the initial phases of getting everything sketched out, making sure that we have all the needs covered in the actual drawings, making a list of all the items we need inside the firehouse, and then we're going to start working with a builder and an architect to actually get it drawn up so that way the community can actually see what this is going to look like and everything like that. It's been a pleasure working with OPA and going through this whole entire process. There's ups and downs with anything, and we're learning how to work together. And so it's really a great experience and a great learning experience for myself and Chief Widgeon, as well as the rest of the fire department. So we can't thank OPA, John, Rick, and the entire board, for their support as we go through this, as well as with the MOU and this new firehouse. So thank you.
Joey, come on, this year. Joey, come on. Big hand here. Oh, he's coming up.
I don't usually speak. I'm not a big speaker, so I'm Joey Wish. I'm the chief of the fire department. I do want to say thanks to Rick and the board members. Joe is normally my speaker. But we are in process. We are moving forward. Everything's going good. I do appreciate everything's going smoothly. And hopefully we'll have a new firehouse within a couple of years. So thank you.
Security compliance. Okay, next up, reserve study. We've talked about this. This is one of the most important financial tools, management tools that I believe we can incorporate. We do have it scheduled for approximately a year and a half from now in the spring. We are working with DMA, who is the outside firm. If somebody asks me what DMA stands for, it's an acronym for their company. Do you know what it is? No, we don't. They don't even know either. They're a good firm, and I'm looking forward to that and updating the association. We are working on that. I have the team working on it. There's a lot of pre-work that goes into it. Continue the golf course irrigation. It's probably one of the biggest programs, initiatives that we've done. Certainly the results are there and they warrant this irrigation system. That would be the last touch to this golf course, which is operationally positive, even after depreciation. Northgate Bridge entrance beautification, what we talked about, you saw all the pictures and everything. We will continue on that. We will continue to enhance that. And we have not forgotten the South Gate. We do have plans there. We are working on the pond and there'll be other stuff going on there. We have a robust, and we will continue to have a robust bulkheads, roads, drainage, and mailbox initiative. Electronic signs, Linda mentioned, there's 4 more. We're in the planning process. We're working with the county. We have great support from Cheryl and from Elaine, and I believe you'll be seeing that over the next 12 months. Okay. Next up is the financial report. So before I start, I just want to recognize Steve Phillips. He's our senior director, controller, and all the support him and his team. And we basically rebuilt that department based upon retirements and everything back in 2017. Steve, just say hello to everybody. I work closely with Steve on a daily basis, and now Mark and Rick and everybody. And very happy, very pleased to see the way finance is going. It is a back office operation. As you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's very important for Ocean Pines. Okay, let's look at some financials. That's basically really our report card in a lot of respects. We heard it was certified, Chris certified. And by the way, I've probably worked with Chris for 15 years. I was very happy when they came back in, and that's all I got to say on that. It was a clean opinion. But if you look on this slide now, and this is the new slide, one we've incorporated, we are mandated by our scrolls to report versus budget, which we do. What we've accomplished and what I have Steve now working on is versus prior year. That's something I was accustomed to. My prior work experiences, it does paint the picture. The main thing is versus budget. We're a homeowners association. So my focus group, the people I look to, and probably these 4 gentlemen probably have over 130 years of living in Ocean Pines and involved somehow, some way in the finance. They say to me, hey, John, just go to the bottom number. That's what they want to hear. I believe in giving you the detail and everything, but if you go down to the bottom right corner, it's a good number. It's a great number. We're positive, approximately $1.2 million to a budgeted number. I guess they were right. Just go right to that bottom number. So, when you look at it just quick, we've talked about golf, and look, golf is driving it, but so are all our amenities. We have very good amenities. We built them up. We support them. They're turnkey, and you can see you go down the list. They're all positive. We have some that aren't. We're working on that. We're definitely looking at that. Safety, when you look at the police, you look at EMS, you do see favorability there with the police, but that money's already been earmarked. It's earmarked for a pension equivalent, increased salaries, what we need to have our police department, as well as our EMS and fire department, our safety, which we value, which the survey continuously comes back to me, to us, saying we value our safety. So we are reinvesting in it. I mean, Chief, I know you got the team up to what, 10, 12, after 12? That's big from a year ago before the chief came in. Compliments to the team, the board, and everybody else. The EMS, the firehouse, we talked about that. Just going down here, we do have favorability. If you look on the controller's report, and I know a lot of you do, and a lot of people email us or ask me, call me up on questions. If you look at the front page of the controller's report, out of that 1.2 million approximate of favorability, over 900,000 of that is revenue. That's organic revenue. I talked about increased memberships, just all the amenities operating on full cylinders. So that's a positive. Only a small part of it, but the 200,000 was expense. However, there was a lot of other expense which was repurposed, reallocated towards safety. When I started back in 2017, if you look at the assessment, probably 20%, just round numbers for today, approximately 20% of the assessment was towards safety. Today, Steve, we're calculating somewhere around 40%, and we're trending. So when you look at your assessment, which Rick has pointed out has decreased, we've increased our spend on safety, and rightfully so. So that money came from somewhere, right? So it came from the organic growth as well as expense reallocation. Okay, turn the page. Let me just get on. Okay, so this one, the operating fund analysis. Obviously, we're operational. We talked about that. This is our operational analysis. Steve and I do quarterly look at this and report on it. So if you look at the top, again, that's where we were several years ago, approximately the end of 2017 fiscal. As I mentioned, I've mentioned several times, we were negative 1.6. If you went back each year, we were constantly unfavorable. Of course, it was culminated with that big year where it was 1.3 million. So then you look at Steve break out all the years since, and you can see the additions, the favorability, totaling $7 million. That $7 million, where did it go? Well, I'm going to tell you today because I do get a lot of questions on it. First off, you can see right below it the transfers in 22, 23, $1.6 million and 880,000. We repurposed that. We put it back into the association. We replenished the roads reserve by 700,000 to get to that $1 million reserve that we were told by DMA and by our Budget and Finance Committee that we needed to be. So that's where a lot of the money went. The new capital for T-Docks, pickleball court renovations, new capital fund for mailbox pedestals, which we never had before. And of course, the big number there at the top, the 650, just turn the page, please. Oh, so I don't have this one up there. But the biggest number on the 1635 is the assessment reduction. As I've mentioned, I've constantly mentioned, we do reinvest that money into the assessment. So some people are out there, we hear it, and rightfully so. Where's the money going? Why aren't we getting more of a reduction? Well, you are. It's being reinvested into the assessment. And we have this planned out for the next 3 to 5 years. The transfers that I showed you, again, for drainage, for discretionary spending on the police plant, which is the new pension equivalent, which is big. And then, of course, the new capital kayak launch that Rick mentioned. Okay, front page. All right, so this is more our balance sheet. This is our reserves. This is a schedule we show also in our monthly reports, and it shows where our money is. It ties into $7 million. Where we started at the beginning of the year, what all our fund balances are, the drainage, new capital, bulkheads, and replacement. So that's the schedule. We're at $7 million approximately. Is that correct, Steve? Yeah. So we're at 7, which is an increase from where we started to 5.3. A lot of people say, there's not enough, too much. I'm going to tell you today, at this point in time, if I was to put a term on it, I would call it Goldilocks. It's a Goldilocks situation. That's where we are today. I can't say for 2 years from now, but today I believe I would term that a Goldilocks situation. Same thing with the assessment. Turn the page. So this is a recap of the history of the assessment. It's 2018. You see it was 921. Probably, I think the highest it went to was 996. We're at 850. Again, where we are today, I would term that a Goldilocks situation. It's not too little, it's not too big. But 2 years from now, we certainly possibly could be different. There is a time where we will pivot. I will talk to the association, the board, and everybody else as we do that. But right now, based upon the road we're on, we stay the course, we're at 850. That's it. That's it for me. That's it for your financials.
Since we unfortunately do not have a quorum, what I'm going to do as president, I'm going to go ahead and allow public comments for today's annual meeting. So those folks who wish to make public comments, please come forward. You have 5 minutes. Please state your name and your address if you wish to come forward.
This is going to be a surprise. I'm not going to complain about unkept properties this year.
So you're going to name yourself. What's your name? And
My name is Donna McElroy, and I reside at 6 White Sail Circle in Ocean Pines. We are full-time residents. I would like to see the board communicate with our legal staff to determine whether or not we might be able to have, at the very least, an adult swim time at the yacht club pool. I believe that the beach club pool does have adult swimming, which might be limited to 15 minutes. I don't know whether a 1 day a week for adults only would satisfy the law. So I would like to see if this could at least be addressed.
Thank you for that. Council, we want to talk about that later.
Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, my name is Karen Baldwin. I reside at 40, my husband and I reside at 40 Drift. And my concern is nobody has talked about the health of the canals. Our canals are in serious trouble. The algae bloom we had in the spring was terrible. And, you know, nobody is addressing the issues. People are fertilizing their lawns. It's all draining into the canals. They cut their grass and blow it into the canals. And this is destroying our waterways. And, you know, this is what a lot of us came down here and bought our house. We're full-time residents. And we've got to stop it and think about this. I mean, that was what Ocean Pines was all about, to be able to use their boats and be on the waterways. It's getting worse each year. We're not doing anything about it. I watch my neighbors all the time cutting their grass and just blowing it in a canal. And people don't realize these algae blooms, they think they just are disappearing, but that stuff all falls to the ground. To the floor of the canal, and that's why it's nothing but muck. I mean, they can't get any sunlight. We should have healthy grass growing on the bottom of the canal, and we're not doing anything about it. I brought this up before, and I even sent the board members each an email about it, and I didn't hear one word about it back. We've got to do something about it for the future of our canals. I won't see anything in my lifetime, but this is an important issue. And I really wish we would do something about it. St. Martin's River is not very healthy. And because we work with coastal bays with programs. And, you know, they're crabbing out there all the time. I mean, how healthy are these crabs that we're eating, that people were crabbing out there? Really think we should, yeah, and there's nothing ever said about it. You know, wish that the board would take some responsibility about it. Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming out, and I appreciate you bringing these concerns up to us, and I'll get with our operational team and work with John and his team to see if there's something we can do, maybe testing kits, maybe putting something out there to our residents regarding what they should not be doing as far as cutting the grass and having it blowing into the canals. So
I think we need to send a letter to each individual family, because obviously they're not reading the Ocean Pines, you know, because if they did, they would know about it. The environmental committee, which I have been on, always has articles about it, and they're not reading them because they do the same darn thing over and over again. But it was really bad this year, and we've got to stop it.
thank you, and we'll definitely take a look at that, making sure that we do address your concerns with your canal.
Hi, I'm Steve Hafner. I live at 6 and 8 Fairway Lane, Ocean Pines. I just want to congratulate the people, the membership in Ocean Pines for voting for you and Hefner to remain on the board and also as president. I also would like to congratulate the board and also the general manager for his selection, for your selection of Chief Robinson as the chief of Ocean Pines, because when it comes to safety, we need a top-notch chief of police, and the ability that you've given him to hire more police officers. I salute you for that. Thank you.
Say that's one of the things that when we brought on Chief Robinson was number one was the safety, and his background that he has working in Wacomico County, exemplary service, and that service that he brings here to the Ocean Pines community, and being able to attract the officers that he has brought here with the wealth of experience and knowledge, and being able to fit right in. And I guess the phone is ringing off the hook, huh, Chief, to get the officers here?
People want to work in Ocean Pines now.
And people want to work in Ocean Pines. So safety first. So thank you, Chief, for that. Any other public comments? And please come forward.
Excuse me, Marlene Ott, 1 Warburg Court. Been doing this for more than 50 years. I came with my late husband in 1969 as an original Boise Cascade salesman. I would not live anyplace else. I'm on the communication committee, and Linda Yertz has done an outstanding job. We have decided to throw away the signs. On my way here, I saw 5 more on the Parkway. So I plan to do the glamorous part about my volunteer work and pick them up. But if you see one, you can, toss get out the vote. I want to thank Elaine Brady on the board and her commitment to assisting us on the communication committee. She's the liaison. She has gotten the approval of the board to reprint Mr. Bud Rogner's History of Ocean Pines book, which we are in the process of getting that done, and will be available to the hundreds and hundreds of people who have requested one. I'm just wondering if
the Ocean Pines could approach the state highway in regard to changing the queue at the north gate, at least from Saturday from 8 o'clock until maybe noontime, another 30 seconds of getting that traffic. I mean, it backs up to Sandy Hook. So just a question as to whether that might be done.
Chief, is that something that, we would be able to?
It possibly could.
Yeah.
I don't know if they could do it just for Wednesday.
Right, and I understand that, but you know, again, I want to thank Josh Davis, also a lot of fun doing the Pinecast podcast. It was just wonderful. Really had a blast.
Good job on that, by the way.
And just a great time. Like I said, wouldn't live anywhere else. And I want to thank everybody for that. I'm sorry we don't have a quorum, but thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Otten. Appreciate it coming out. Any other public comments? Our membership.
Steve Ransdell, 128 Boston. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. On behalf of, as chairman of the elections committee, I just wanted to share, even though we'll have a full report, formal report coming up, I believe due by the October meeting, I wanted to share a bit of information. Namely, I wanted to thank the membership for the great voter turnout. Our number of ballots cast was up, I believe John has shared with me, in the last 5 years, it was the highest we've had. We hope to encourage more to vote next year. But I did want to point out that 27.7% of all the votes cast were online. So clearly, a large portion and a growing portion of our membership likes the online voting option. We have no intention of doing away with paper, but at least not for the foreseeable future. But a large number of them, folks, are being served. And online voting does save the association money. We don't pay for paper mailing costs to mail the ballots into the election vendor and things like that. So it is worth encouraging, I would suggest. I wanted to thank all the candidates for running such a stellar campaign, keeping things positive, and we had a very minimal amount of complaints or concerns. I want to add my personal thanks to the committee, to Fred, Cheryl, Ken, Pat. As we started the election, the entire election committee left, except for me. It wasn't anticipated. We did anticipate the chairman leaving, but I wanted to thank those 4 individuals for stepping up, stepping in, and getting actively involved. It was a great help. I also want to thank especially a few people. John Latham. John and I are on speed dial now. I only have to press one button to get his phone, and it's almost always answered right away or call returned. And that's essential to getting answers to some questions so John can liaise with the rest of the board and or the OPA admin. But speaking of OPA admin, I want to thank Linda. Linda, I can't believe I found you laying on the floor of the police station trying to locate the key for the ballot box. That's just one of 1,000 examples of how our OPA staff goes above and beyond to help keep things running smoothly. I also want to thank Keith for his assistance with the AV, and Josh. I don't know how many times we revise press releases, but it's always instantaneous. I don't think most people really understand the customer service that we as members get from the staff. And I want to add my thanks to all of them, everyone who helped.
I think it's safe. Once again, since we do not have a quorum, we'll be running a special meeting this week to do a validation of the election. So at this point, I'm going to put a motion for adjournment. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming out.